Good morning, fathers of daughters. This is Ephraim Martin. Welcome to another live stream at Girl Dad YouTube channel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here today for another live stream, fathers of daughters, girl dads. I welcome all fathers, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and or culture. Bienvenidos, mi amigos. ¿Cómo te sientes, la familia? Con tu hijas. Hoy. All right, fathers, we are here today for another live stream. Okay, fathers, what we're going to be discussing today is I have a chapter in my book, Daddy's Girls, which can be purchased at Amazon.com. I have a chapter in my book where I'm talking about interventions. What are successful interventions and what are not successful interventions? And part of having successful interventions is I have a contract, father-daughter contract in my book that I will be sharing with you after the first three videos that I'm going to display with you this morning. I'm going to be sharing it with you and we're going to go through it. And today's episode, negotiables versus non-negotiables. Well, fathers, we will have to negotiate with our daughters. We will. I am a girl dad of 4 adult daughters, 36, 30, 26, and 24. And let me tell you, I had to negotiate with my baby girls. I did. I worked in the criminal justice system for 20 years. I'm a former state of Colorado juvenile probation officer. I also worked in K-12 education for 10 years as a teacher, restorative justice coordinator, and dean of students. I've worked with all children from all socioeconomic backgrounds and cultures with their parents for over 30 years. Thousands of children, fathers of daughters. So I learned a little something along the way working with thousands of children and their parents. And I paid attention. So when we're talking about negotiables versus non-negotiables, fathers, it is not a situation where we as fathers are giving up our power. Not every father will have to use the father-daughter contract that we're going to be talking about. I never did. And that's because I started talking with my daughters when they were 5 years of age. So by the time they became preteens at 10 and then teenage girls at 13, they already knew the routine. And there was no need for me to implement the father-daughter contract. Some fathers are going to, because some fathers will struggle with their baby girls and they will have a disconnect with their baby girls. So like I said, I came up with the father-daughter contract and I used it when I was a dean of students in middle school and high school. And when I introduced it to parents and they used it, it was very, very effective. Okay. And like I said, we're going to be talking about it. I'll go into detail. And it is from my book, Daddy's Girls, which can be purchased at Amazon.com. So fathers, when we're talking about negotiables versus non-negotiables, that's what they are. What are we going to negotiate with our daughters? Well, fathers, we're going to be looking at probably about 10 to 12 videos today. All the videos that I am sharing with you will be in the description. And they're between 2 to 5 minutes long. So they're not very long videos. But I want to give you a heads up, fathers, as to what's coming, right? One of the things I do here at Grow Dad YouTube channel is I provide educational, informational resources through instruction to help all fathers understand our sense of urgency that we must have with our baby girls in order to build long-term, sustainable relationships. I'm at a totally different transition in my life. All of my daughters are adult women, professional women, living their best lives, doing their thing. So this is my way of giving back to fathers because I care. And like I said, I want to see all fathers, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and culture, have great relationships with their baby girls, because a lot of fathers are struggling. They don't know how to raise their baby girls. They don't know how to interact with their baby girls. They don't know how to lead their baby girls. So I'm a resource, fathers of daughters. Feel free to subscribe, like, share my videos. Okay? Feel free to do that, fathers. All right, fathers. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to get into these videos. And what I need from you, fathers, is I need your minds to be open. I need you to have open spirit. I need you to be a father that is going to be a leader of your baby girls. Okay? I need you to be a father that's not going to be afraid of information. I need you to be a father that will do his own research outside of what is being provided through Grow That YouTube channel. Because it's always better to do your own research. Don't always take YouTube channels for the gospel. Always do your own research, fathers. Always fact check. Always make sure you have enough information in order for you to make an informed decision when you're dealing with your baby girls. Okay, fathers? So let's dive into these videos. And like I said, today's live stream, we're going to be talking about negotiables versus non-negotiables. And this will be dealing with our daughters when they turn 10 to 18 years of age. Okay, fathers? The first 10 years, we're not going to have to do negotiables versus non-negotiables. This is from 10 to 18 years of age. Preteens, teenagers, and young adult women. Okay, fathers, let's get into these videos.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rasya Dikshit. I'm a dermatologist in private practice in Bangalore from the last 18 years. What do you do when your teenager wants to experiment with makeup? Usually, it's at the age of teenage when the children are discovering their own identity and then they're fascinated by this world of makeup and they want to try this. Now, there are two aspects to this. There is the dermatological and safety aspect, and then there is the psychological aspect. So let me talk to you about the safety aspect. Most makeup products, they may contain things which are more sensitizing and irritating to a child's skin. So though the person is a teenager, their skin is still not that of an adult and they might be more sensitive. So products may cause dryness, irritation, and it may cause some kind of inflammation in their skin. So choose products which are gentle on all skin types. That is number one. Second, avoid products which have talc, which have BHA. Avoid products which have got lead, mercury, urea. So look at the content and then buy the product for the child. Third, also, if the products can be minimized, then that is something that you can encourage your child to do. Second thing that I was telling you about the psychological aspect, because at this time they are growing more aware of their own body, they want to be accepted. Speak to them and understand why they want to use the product. Is it peer pressure? Are they feeling uncomfortable about some part of their body? And then give them encouraging, non-judgmental advice like, I think that you look great even with or without makeup, and I like that you're experimenting with makeup. So these kind of tips could help build your child's self-confidence. These are the things that you should look out if your teenager is starting to experiment with makeup. I hope this has been helpful. Keep watching Dr. Circle.
Routines. Parents of tweens, stop what you're doing right now. We are back with a GMA cover story, a look at preteens' obsession with skincare. Dr. Whitney Bowe is standing by with what routines are really healthy for young skin. But first, Morgan Norwood is here with what's all over social media. Good morning, Morgan.
Oh, yeah, Robin. It is truly an obsession. Okay, so I want to talk to my millennial parents for a second. Take a trip down memory lane with me. It's the 2000s. We're at the mall. Mom's dropping us off. Where are we going? Justice, Limited 2. Those were the stores for preteens back then. Well, these days, tweens are into skincare, and I'm talking 5-step routines and all. But dermatologists are warning this morning that some products could be too much too soon.
I'm going to do a morning routine. It is so good. I had to get another one.
It's a tween skincare craze. Kids aged 10 to 13 are spending hours and hundreds inside skincare and makeup stores on elaborate hauls.
Now I'm going to mix it in.
Flaunting their multi-step skincare routines and must-have products on social media, hashtag tween skincare reeling in 49.5 million views on TikTok.
I'm in my house.
And moms like Abby Chawansky, who funded, say it can be overwhelming.
I'm like, how much? It's a lot. And sometimes I'm like, all right, just get it.
11-year-old Zoya has a 9-step nighttime routine that includes serums, moisturizers, and even curling her lashes.
What's it like doing your skincare routine?
It's like my favorite part before bed.
But many pointing out on social media that some products Gen Alphas are buying may not actually be suitable for their young skin.
The next time your teen or tween want to buy some expensive skincare, like $80 serum, is better suited for somebody who's like 45. Think twice about it.
Products containing ingredients such as retinol, harsh exfoliants, and anti-aging serums meant for adults.
The skin is not just a wall you can throw anything at.
Dermatologist and tween skincare expert Dr. Jeffy says most products made for adults aren't beneficial and can damage sensitive tween skin.
Many of these skincare products deal with adult skin issues. So age-related changes like wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, and dullness to the skin, which kids don't have. So when they use these products, it can really be harmful to their skin barrier. When that barrier is not working effectively, we get things like redness, we get rashes, we can get infections, and we can get breakouts.
Experts recommend parents reach out to their doctor about what products may be best for their kids. Joy McMaster is a mom and skincare enthusiast, and though she encourages her daughter Lola to have fun with the hauls they post on TikTok,
So I got the skincare line.
she's also cautious.
I've gone through everything and vetted her stuff and made sure it's appropriate for her.
But more than anything, she teaches Lola that beauty isn't about what you put on your skin.
True beauty really comes from the inside. They are perfect just the way they are.
It's just like kind of like self-care. It makes me feel really happy.
And so parents, listen up. Experts are urging you to keep an eye out for the packaging. Though sometimes these popular skincare brands use that colorful branding, they're not really for kids. So when it comes to tween skincare, doctors we spoke with say the most important thing that tweens should be doing to take care of their skin is applying sunscreen. Robin?
All right, Morgan, thank you so much. And board-certified dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe is here with skincare tips for your tween. All of these trending tween-friendly products are shoppable. And we have a special guest. Your daughter, McLean, is going to be joining us in just a little bit. She was yay high the last time I saw her. Never too early to start a healthy skincare routine, but what really should tweens know?
So my 12-year-old daughter has sensitive skin, so we keep things simple. We focus on 3 goals: protecting her skin with a simple morning routine that ends with sunscreen, washing her face at the end of the day with a gentle cleanser, and then showing her skin barrier some love with a moisturizer. And Robin, there are so many affordable drugstore options, whether your tween has dry, sensitive skin like mine, oily skin, or even if your tween is starting to break out with mild acne, which is actually very common in this age range.
Okay, so those are the do's.
Yes.
So what are the don'ts, especially when it comes to ingredients?
Well, tweens don't need to aggressively exfoliate the skin, right? I'm not a fan of gritty scrubs for their face. I'm not a fan of products that have high levels of exfoliating acids like glycolic acid for tween skin. When it comes to fragrance and sensitive tween skin, not a huge fan of leave-on products that have high levels of fragrance or essential oils.
Really?
Those can irritate the skin and even increase your tween's risk of developing a skin allergy later in life. And of course, your tween does not need a retinol for wrinkles. Retinoids for acne, yes. Retinoids for wrinkles, no bueno, not necessary.
Okay, McLean, how are you? Thank you for being with us right now. First of all, I was surprised when you are on on social media. TikTok, all these.
All over.
It's all over. But then McLean's going to do it the right way. There's something called, what, a smoothie?
A skincare smoothie. So to be clear, guys, this is not how I recommend applying skincare. I layer my skincare. But if you're going to make a smoothie, what it is you're mixing different skincare products together, either on your hand, on the bottle, like McLean is doing here. So McLean is demonstrating how to make a skincare smoothie using the very popular Drunk Elephant Be Goldy drops. So these are designed to be mixed with your moisturizer. They give the skin a golden finish. And I'm okay with her using these because they're made with 5% niacinamide, which is actually good for the skin barrier. But they're a splurge. I mean, they're expensive. You don't need to mix these with another expensive product to make a skincare smoothie. So I love that McLean's, doing a little compromise here. She's using a product by the brand Bubble, which is actually great for tween skin, and it's affordable.
Okay, and I noticed how she was applying it there. You don't have to lather it on.
No, less is more, guys, for sure. And McLean knows the one cardinal rule, right? If you're going to let your tweens make a smoothie, you do not want to mix. There's one ingredient you never want to mix into that. Do you remember what it is?
What is it?
Sunscreen. Sunscreen.
Oh!
Yeah. So sunscreen deserves its own step at the very end. If you mix it in, it's not going to be effective. It's not going to work, right?
Okay, you know your daughter, and she knows you. Oh my gosh, this right here. Oh, wow. Hot commodity.
Fancy.
I know,
it's a splurge.
I know. But tomorrow on our parenting, and thank you, Whitney.
My pleasure.
Tomorrow on our parenting playbook, how social media can impact a tween's mental health. That is equally as important, if not more so. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.
The skincare. And we are back with a GMA cover story. Look at the skincare brands telling younger kids not to use some of their products. Ariel Reshef here with the details. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, George. A hot topic indeed. At last check, the hashtag tween skincare racking up tens of millions of views on TikTok. Kids 10 to 13 flaunting their elaborate hauls and skincare routines across social media. But now some of the most popular brands are urging young skincare enthusiasts to proceed with caution.
I'm going to be doing my morning skincare routine. I'm going to do a morning routine.
The videos are all over social media. Teens and even tweens touting their skincare routines. 11-year-old Zoya has a 9-step nighttime regimen. But now some big-name brands are pushing back, urging younger kids not to buy certain products. Hugely in-demand Drunk Elephant posting on social media that many of their products are safe for kids and tween skin, but reminding Gen Alpha to stay away from their products containing acids and retinols. The wildly popular skincare line Bubble, which markets itself to teens, putting out disclaimers after releasing its exfoliating serum called Moonwalk earlier this year, saying Moonwalk is a gentle exfoliator, but all exfoliators are serious business. Don't exfoliate unless you're 14 or older. Younger faces can be more sensitive.
Telling a marketplace, don't use this product if you're under a certain age. Certainly that's responsible.
Skincare giant Kiehl's posting a new campaign including these photos to social media saying childhood goes by fast. Don't let your kids waste it on a 10-step skincare routine. And The Ordinary, owned by Estee Lauder, echoing with a post reading, teens, you don't need 10 steps.
I'm in my happy place.
For millions like Zoya, the skincare craze has been a creative outlet and source of fun. But mom Abby Chawansky says navigating what products are appropriate for her daughter can be overwhelming.
Like one time you did pick up something with retinol and I was like, yeah, I was like, no, that's not for you.
Experts say with Gen Alpha getting in on the self-care frenzy, companies need to carefully weigh risks in marketing to younger customers.
And experts say keep in mind if there are products that are marketed for anti-aging, they're most likely not appropriate for tween skin. And as always, check with your doctor or dermatologist if you have any questions. Guys.
Common sense there at the end. Okay, Ariel, thanks very much.
Okay, fathers. So 3 videos on makeup. Why am I showing 3 videos on makeup? Well, fathers, it's coming. Their mothers are going to introduce them to makeup. They just are. Matter of fact, you got to think about it. When little girls are little, and for Christmas, when they're getting their toys when they're 2, 3, 4, and 5, they get these dolls, Barbie dolls. Back in the day, my daughters had Brat dolls, and so you have Barbie dolls, you have Brat dolls. I'm not sure what's out there today because it's been a minute for me. But, with the dolls, the little girls, they come with makeup packets and they put makeup on their little dolls and they're, playing tea and all that, and I remember going through all of that with my baby girls. But what I started explaining to them at 5 is that the whole makeup thing, it's not necessary because their skin needs to breathe. They're beautiful without putting anything on their face. So all 4 of my daughters, they didn't start experimenting with makeup until they actually got to high school. They were all 14 years of age. And even then, their face, they were so used to not wearing it, it wasn't a big deal for them. So their mother and I, we're on the same page with that. Most mothers are not going to be on the same page with their fathers. They're just not, fathers. And this is going to frustrate the hell out of a lot of fathers when it comes to makeup. I'm telling you, it's going to cause a lot of arguments because from the whole makeup comes self-esteem and the peer pressures of their friends. And so it's coming, fathers. I discuss all of this in my book, Daddy's Girls. And this is why I think it's important for you to purchase my book and use my videos. They're complementary of each other. Okay, fathers? So this is one of the negotiating tools that you're going to need, fathers. And let me explain why. Let me pull up the father-daughter contract that I created, that I use in my book for all parents to be able to use with their sons or their daughters, okay? So let me pull it up here, fathers. Let me see. Let me get a full screen on this. Okay, fathers. So what I'm sharing with you, this is from my book, Daddy's Girls, like I said, which can be purchased at Amazon.com. I created this when I was a probation officer. I never got to use it when I was a probation officer, but I created this around 2000 when I was still a probation officer. Yeah, 2000. And it's the father-daughter intervention solutions contract. In my book, I talk about interventions that are solution-based, interventions that work and interventions that don't work. And I draw that from my professional experience of working in the criminal justice system for 20 years and K-12 education for 10 years, right? I've worked with thousands of children, thousands of little girls. So I know what I'm talking about here, fathers. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because this is very helpful. For instance, if you have a daughter, let's just talk about, let's look at the contract. You see there's a negotiable side and there's a non-negotiable side. Now, you see here it says legally binding dates. For most fathers, that's going to, let's say your daughter, you have to start negotiating with her at 10. This is an intervention, okay? That's all this contract is. This is an intervention for you and your daughter to be on the same page. But if she's having issues at school, behavioral issues at home, you can implement this father-daughter intervention solutions contract. I named it specifically intervention solutions contract because that's what it is. It's an intervention, right? And this is what you and your daughter are going to come up with, what's negotiable and what's non-negotiable. For most little girls, makeup is a non-negotiable. Once they're introduced to it, because their mothers are going to introduce them to it, right? So as an intervention, if you're looking at an intervention for your daughter, for for a solution. She's going to come up with this herself. You're going to guide her on the intervention, but she's going to come up with her own interventions. Because what this does is this holds her accountable because she came up with it. This is very, very effective, fathers. Okay? And this is why I'm sharing it with you. Like I said, it's in my book, Daddy's Girls. Okay? And negotiable. What is a negotiable? Well, it depends on what you and your daughter come up with. Okay? Whatever you put on the negotiable side, that could be put on the non-negotiable side. And then it could be moved back to the negotiable side. It's an intervention, fathers. That's all it is an intervention. Whatever you put as a non-negotiable, it has to stay there. It cannot be moved to the negotiable side. Okay? So understand what I'm explaining to you. As a intervention solution, whatever is the negotiable between you and your daughter regarding the father-daughter intervention solutions contract, whatever is negotiable, it can be moved to the non-negotiable side and moved back to the negotiable side. Whatever you come up with as a non-negotiable has to stay there. It cannot go to the negotiable side and then moved back. This is very, very effective, fathers, because it provides solutions for your daughter. This is what she's come up with. This is what you've decided as a father-daughter intervention. Okay? I learned a lot when I was a juvenile probation officer. I learned a lot working in K-12 education, working with thousands of children, thousands of boys and girls from all socioeconomic backgrounds and cultures. And this intervention solutions contract is very effective for boys and girls. Okay? So parents, here you go. This is from my book. So I encourage you to purchase my book, right? My live streams, my videos, they're on point. I get to go a lot deeper than I do in my book. But what my book's going to do for you, it's going to give you the framework, because I believe it's the blueprint for helping fathers understand our sense of urgency, right? And what we need to be successful and have long-term relationships with our baby girls. So I just want to share this with you this morning, fathers. Any father can use it. Parents, you can use it. Mothers and fathers, you can use it. Okay? But like I said, it's in my book, Daddy's Girls. Okay? So feel free to purchase my book and use my book as a reference. It's complimentary of my my videos, my live streams that are uploaded on Grow That YouTube channel. Okay, fathers, let me get out of this. So I just wanted to share that with you, fathers, because I'm all about solutions. I'm 100% about solutions with our baby girls. All right? Okay. So those were the first 3 videos. Let's take a look. I think I'm going to run 3 to 4 videos back to back to back before I come back and give my commentary. Okay? All right, fathers, let's continue.
Hi, Mr. Lasky. Babysitter's Club. Hi, Mr. Lasky. Oh, no. Wednesday night, 6 to 9:30? Sure.
For decades, babysitting has been a rite of passage for so many teenagers.
Margie, how old are you? 4.5. You're on a 4.5-minute timeout.
Parents relying on young sitters before a much-needed night out.
Take good care of my baby.
And for teens, a chance, even for a bit, at real-life adulting, including earning some cold hard cash.
My mom is paying you good money to watch me.
But these days, high schoolers may no longer fit the bill.
Look at what I found. Babysitter needed ASAP. Must be over 25 years old. Minimum education, master's degree.
Olivia Heinbaugh is a former teen babysitter who's now a mom to 3.
You were a teenage babysitter, but you mostly don't hire teenage babysitters. Why?
Because I really want my children to feel comfortable and for my own self to feel comfortable knowing that they're left with competent, capable, very experienced people. And often those people are family members or very close family friends.
Parenting journalist Donna Tatro says for both parents and teens, times have changed.
This generation of parents is really in tune. Parents want their kids to be playing with somebody that there is taking care of them. If you're in a household with teenagers right now, you know that they're not really present because they're either on their phone or they're dealing with that academic achievement pressure.
While there is no universal starting age for a sitter, popular website care.com only accepts candidates 18 and older. The gig can still be lucrative, with average pay nearing $19.50 an hour. And according to recent data from Nextdoor, which allows users to search for sitters in their neighborhood, the majority of babysitting posts from parents were about very young children between ages 2 to 5.
I feel like adults are more likely to trust and reach out to older babysitters than they are younger ones. They feel like it's safer for their child.
20-year-old University of Hartford student Laura Martin has been babysitting since she was 13. With her growing list of skills, she says she finds more parents reaching out to her now than ever before.
When I was younger, obviously, I had a lot more restrictions. Like I couldn't drive. Now that I can drive, we can go and explore the towns or do whatever they might want to do. It gives me a little more freedom.
16-year-old high school sophomore Ellie Hughes also has been babysitting since she was 13.
Parents will hire me if their kids are just like napping or asleep, and that can give me time to like do my homework.
Despite her young age, she finds time to take care of her neighbors' kids, some as young as 2, in between school and her busy lacrosse schedule.
What I like most about babysitting is connecting with the kids. A lot of families kind of see me as like an older sister to their kids.
As for what she does with the $15 to $20 she makes an hour,
the cash that I get, normally all the cash I save.
Proof that the reliable young sitter down the street still exists.
Although fact check, her mom says she does spend some of it at Starbucks. She also tells us she completed CPR and first aid training with the Red Cross. That actually offers certification for babysitting for anyone over 11. And of course, it helps score extra points with parents. And then Donna, who was in that piece, she says she doesn't see teenage sitters going away for good, but she points out it's really important for parents to set up expectations. Tell the teenager exactly what you expect, you know, what you want the evening to look like.
You will not be driving my child anywhere tonight.
Or inviting your friends over or anything like that.
Or eating all the snacks,
Yeah.
which is what I used to do.
Exactly.
But you know what? I do use a young babysitter if I'm home, but you know, the kids always want you to be, you're the one who has to play hide and seek or life or whatever. Sometimes I'll have a teenager just come and like entertain them so I can just have a moment of peace. But I'm home.
Yeah, I started this piece thinking this was about overscheduled teenagers, and I ended this piece thinking this is about parents who are a little different than our generation of parents, you know, getting a kid down the street to watch your kids
I
for
wish
4 or
they
5
looked at the
hours.
senior community as a bigger option. We did that when we were away. For younger kids, especially when it's just kind of sitting there and watching them. We were in Ireland and the hotel hooked us up. It was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, that's
the
amazing.
sweetest lady.
What a great
And
idea.
she wanted the companionship, and then she ended up writing us this beautiful letter. I mean, that's another great thing in your community maybe to look into.
That's good.
Great idea.
I love that.
All right, Christine, thank you so much.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here. Meanwhile, some students are waging war against their dress code. They say it unfairly targets girls by inadvertently sexually stereotyping them. News 4's Kaitor K on the story. What's up here, Kaitor?
Yeah, some girls at Classen SAS High School at Northeast tell us the current dress code makes them feel like sexual objects around their male classmates, and that administrators are enforcing the idea that it's the responsibility of girls to control boys' sexual urges.
I've seen them actively dress code the girls and not the boys at all.
Sexist, double standard, puritanical, just a few ways some students at Classen SAS High School at Northeast are describing their dress code, saying it's more strictly enforced on girls than boys.
I think that's not just if they're enforcing rules on just one gender and not following it for the other one.
Frustrated students posting flyers like these around school, saying the dress code sexualizes girls for their shorts, tank tops, and crop tops when they're just trying to stay cool in the hot weather.
The teacher said that the clothes that she and other students wear can be distracting to the boys at the school. And I just don't think that's right.
If you're seeing a 14-year-old, girl walking around, you're saying that's an issue, that's distracting, that's sexual, then there's something wrong with you.
Senior Finn Froese shared this recording with us of the principal telling them they couldn't tie their shirt in a knot, which exposed their midriff.
Is pushing back when we see things that are not appropriate.
This
Some
is
people-
appropriate.
Well, that's your interpretation, right?
Yes, it is my interpretation.
And mine neither matters in this situation or doesn't come into play.
Agreed.
It's just me, the administrator, applying what I feel is the policy.
Oklahoma City Public Schools gave this statement to News 4 saying school leaders have been, in part, working closely with a small number of students to better understand their concerns and to reinforce the standards that are present in our existing uniform policy, which has been in place for many years. They do, however, encourage students, families, and staff to use their voices to advocate for whatever they believe in, no matter the topic. We have the full statement on our website, kfor.com.
New at 5:30, for generations, teenagers couldn't wait to get their driver's license, that ultimate symbol of independence.
But things have been changing. Even the number of people getting licensed in their 20s is declining for various reasons. But clearly, 16 is no longer the magic age for taking the wheel.
16-year-old Caden Kennedy is taking me for a cruise.
When you start driving, what's going through your head? First, it's here we go.
He has his full learner's permit, but he's in no rush to get his full driver's license.
What were your thoughts when you were 14, 15 about driving?
I was extremely nervous.
Especially so after watching his older brother learn to drive at age 17.
My brother was the one who was trying to go through that whole driving permit license situation, and he really struggled.
Their mom agrees, telling me that both sons needed a little more maturity and desire to get their license.
The kids are just not, they're not mature. They're not amped to meet each other. They don't have the feeling that I'm going to go to the mall with my best friends and hang out, or go to the movies with my best friends and hang out. It's just very different now.
And then there are kids like Harper Youngerman. She's been practicing driving since 14.
I want to be able to drive so I can go to my friend's house and go to jobs that I have in the future in school.
Both ways, turn hard to the right. Her mom is supportive but concerned.
I think I'm most worried about other drivers, not so much her. I think she'll make good choices. It's more distracted drivers.
Well, the data shows that more kids are like Caden these days, taking longer to get their license. It's a trend that's been increasing. In 1995, about 64% of kids age 16 to 19 got their license to drive. By 2021, that number had dropped to under 40%.
A lot more older kids than I would have ever expected once I opened the school 2.5 years ago.
Felix Blakeney with TLC Driving School says money is a factor too. The cost of lessons, teen driver insurance rates, and historic high prices for used cars. And another factor, this new online generation.
I don't know if they crave that face-to-face interaction anymore where they feel like they need to go see each other to connect.
Not to mention all the other transportation options. For instance, in Charlotte's South End, you can ride the train, take a scooter, Uber, or just walk. And then there's road rage.
A lot of impatient drivers now. You know, there's probably not a day that I drive on the road that someone is blowing the horn at a student driver car.
For sure, our roads are far less welcoming now. It's why Caden's mom is fine with her children taking their time, at least to a point.
The older son literally went the summer before he went to college, and that was because I said, you will not leave until you have your driver's license.
And you said you were the oldest, so you at 16, you immediately wanted to drive.
I wanted to drive, and then it was kind of like a trap because once I got my license, then I'm driving around all of my siblings. But so were you shocked to hear some of these answers?
I think that, you know, I grew up in the country, but the roads out there, I mean, there's road rage. There's a lot of stuff that kids see on the news that makes them almost probably scared to hit the road. You know, we report on it all the time. So it takes a little bit more maturity and confidence. And if they are driving, a great way to calm down their nerves, of course, take away all the distractions, like don't be eating or drinking when you're in the car, talking with any passengers, or adjusting the entertainment or infotainment system. That's a big distraction. And of course, this is what my daughter does. She just keeps her phone in the glove box so she won't look at it. And that can work for adults too.
We begin this hour with a look at how social media and cell phones can affect children. It's part of our coverage of Mental Health Awareness Month. A recent survey showed 43% of kids between ages 8 and 12 have smartphones. That number soars to 88% for kids between 13 and 18. And on average, those teens spend nearly 1.5 hours per day on social media sites. We wanted to have an honest conversation with a group of kids about everything from the pressure of owning a phone to expectations created by social media. We spoke to Sam, Naeem, Ellie, Tiara, Aaron, and Jade. All have cell phones except for Naeem. He's only 8 years old. And all are on at least one social media platform. Did you feel pressure to need a cell phone because other people had it?
Yeah, for sure. It was one of those things where all of my friends had them, so I kept asking and asking.
I did feel pressured because in 5th grade, literally every single one of my classmates had a phone at that time.
I definitely was pressured. It was like a competition to see who would get a phone first when I was in 5th grade.
Have you ever felt separation anxiety when you didn't have your phone in your hand or you didn't have access to it?
In the past few years, it was like when I would get my phone taken, I'd be like, oh, I miss my phone. What am I going to do now? Felt like I couldn't live without it.
I've definitely felt it. Like, I know my friends have like taken my phone when I was younger, and I would always get a little nervous about like, where's my phone? And like, that was the only thing on my mind when they took it.
Like, I feel that I'm missing like, quote unquote, a part of me.
I think I realized how impatient I've gotten when I don't have it, and I can't fill up the time with games or social media or things like that. And you're just like, oh, just stand and look around.
Pretty bored right now. Okay, Naeem. Now, you don't have a phone, but you have access to an iPad.
Yeah, games, my Nintendo Switch.
When you don't have those things and you don't have access, how do you feel?
I'm also missing a part of me, like Aaron said.
The main way you guys hang out, quote unquote, with your friends outside of school, social media?
Outside of school, me and my friends, we do a lot of like voice calls a lot, and we play games, or we like do study calls. And we probably do that for a good amount of time. Maybe, I think this weekend we probably spent like 15 hours on call.
Over the course of the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Naeem, have you been playing video games or got lost on YouTube and just been watching video after video after video?
I can't count
Just
it.
hours?
The only thing I would say, want to watch, if no one tells me, nah, you can't watch that.
Right.
YouTube, YouTube, YouTube.
Tiara, what about you?
I would say if I'm on TikTok, 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours straight shot on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just sitting there scrolling.
Yeah.
What's so interesting about TikTok?
Just seeing like different people just make funny videos. It's like, and the fact that I can relate to the videos, it just makes me want to watch more and more and more.
You're on YouTube or TikTok, Snapchat, Discord, but I feel like there could be a darker side to that. Am I right by saying that?
Definitely that comparison thing that you do when you're scrolling and you see all these different people, you constantly compare yourself, and I think that's definitely a negative. And it always seems like they're living the perfect life that you are not, even though that's not true.
Aaron?
No, I agree with what Ellie said. Like, it acts like they have a perfect life and they're perfect. They can do whatever they want. They have all that money. Compared to them, I'm a nobody.
I like art a lot. I draw in my free time and I write in my free time, and then I see like all these content creators making like these gorgeous pieces of art digitally, and they're like younger than me. There could be like 12 and they already like mastered the use of like lighting and shading, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy crap, like why am I doing this? Or there's so many other people that are like so much younger than me and have so much more potential than me.
Basically, social media is everyone's persona, and it's not actually like how they are, but it's like rather how they present themselves. So it's like hard for someone who sees that to like realize that that's maybe not, their life isn't as good as it seems.
Yeah. Naeem, let me ask you something. When you were on YouTube during certain things that were happening in this country, did you see certain things that impacted you?
Yes, I'm like, what are these police doing? Like, they wildin'.
You talking about police and brutality?
Yes.
What was that like when you saw stuff like that?
When I saw something like that, I'm thinking that we're not even out of slavery anymore. Like, we're back where we were when times started.
You're 8 years old and you were thinking that?
Yes, I was concerned for myself because I'm Black and these people are like disrespecting us, my kind, and like I'm not feeling good about that.
My final question is, social media is?
A great platform for some people, but a bad platform for others.
Tiara, social media is?
What you make it. It depends on what you allow yourself to see, who you follow, who you don't follow. What's on your explore page is just what you make it.
Ellie?
I was going to say social media is its own world.
It definitely is.
Oh boy.
And my advice to them afterwards, don't get lost in that world.
Yeah.
Exist in this real world and tap into people that can speak encouragement and give you light and the right energy, because sometimes being on social media and getting lost in it can be depleting to these young kids.
They seem to understand that, though. That I was impressed with Naeem because he's 8, but all the age ranges were saying what you see sometimes is not reality. They at least seem to be aware of that, were they?
They are savvy.
They were.
Yeah, they were savvy is the word I thought.
I also explained to them that as adults, we struggle with the same thing. We watch a commercial and we're sitting here looking at some guy with a fancy car and a ton of money. We immediately say, I want to buy this product because I see this guy doing that. And women do the same thing. That's how they market to us. So I just love the fact that they are realizing this and having this hyper awareness at a young age.
Yeah, I would wonder if they think they're getting more out of social media or social media is getting more out of them. And if they could wish it away, you know, would they rather live in a world without it?
Yeah.
Or do they prefer it this way?
It's really good.
I know my vote is world without it.
World without it.
But I'm a fogey now.
Yeah.
Welcome to your 40s, Nate.
Hello. Hello. This is Dr. Hines, and the title of this series basically is dealing with current high school students that are contemplating dropping out. And this is going to be part 1 of this series. And I've named this, So You Want to Drop Out of High School. So let's get right into it. So you want to drop out of high school. You have come to this decision based on where you are in your life. some things that you have going on in school and outside of school, and you have come to the conclusion that being in school or obtaining a high school diploma is something you no longer want to pursue, and you want to move forward with your life without a high school diploma. And so I just want to throw out some things,
new trends from
to
teenagers look to make
that maybe you're going through, or maybe you can relate to someone who may be going through it. It may cause you to come to this decision to drop out of high school. So, what made you come to this decision? What happened that made you come to this point where on this day, at this moment, at this time, at this point in your life, you're saying, I no longer want to pursue a high school diploma. I've been in school since kindergarten, first grade, second, fifth, seventh, eighth, ninth. If you made it to 10th, if you made it to the 11th, and I have come to the point where I feel that earning a high school diploma is something I no longer want to do. How many credits have you earned? If you have to take state testing, which most states do in order to graduate, where am I as far as my testing is concerned? Are you overaged? Are you 19 or 20 years old or 21 years old? And you feel that you are too far gone, and trying to obtain a high school diploma at this point is something that you just simply do not want to do. Maybe you have responsibilities. Maybe you are pregnant, or maybe you already have a child or two. If you're a father of a child, and you're going to put the responsibility of taking care of your child over obtaining a high school diploma. And that's something that a lot of people can understand to a degree, because you're taking care of your responsibilities. But having a child at this point in your life, and everything that goes with caring for a child, has come to the point where you're going to pursue that and leave your pursuit of earning a high school diploma. Could it be that you recently got a job, and the job is giving you hours during the school day, and for you, for your family situation, for your personal situation, where you want to be, making that money is more important than going to school, sitting in a classroom, listening to a teacher, doing assignments. And so you rather work that job and make however much money that they're giving you than pursue your high school diploma. Is the pay more important than the high school diploma? And as I said before, are you supporting your family with this job? Is it not just about you? Is it about your siblings? Is it about your parents, mother or father or grandmother, whoever is your primary caretaker? Is working the job helping out? Have you come to a point that you simply hate school? You hate the teachers. You hate all the administrators. You hate the school counselors. You don't even know your school social worker. You have no idea who the school psychologist is. You probably have talked to the school counselor maybe once. And when you do go to talk to him or her, they really don't have an attitude that they even care what you do. If you miss school, your teachers never say anything to you. They don't reach out to you. It's like if you come to school and you miss a week and you come back, they may say something sarcastic, but they're really not interested whether you come to school or not, because in their minds, you feel that they have already written you off. Are you being bullied in school? Is it fearful for you to even go to the bathroom because you don't know who's going to be waiting for you when you get there? Has the lunchroom become a dungeon or a cell to you, that it's not that you're not hungry that you don't go into the cafeteria? You're tired of the ridicule. You're tired of the jokes. You're tired of the whispers that you know are being said about you. Do you feel like there's really no option? You know, where you're going to school, they don't provide night school. They don't provide an after school. They don't provide a Saturday school option. They do not have a virtual option. Maybe you just don't want to be in the building. You kind of do want to finish, but going in the building, sitting in a classroom, listening to a teacher anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, it's just not something you want to do at this point in your life. And where you go to school, they're providing no other options for you. And so the only way that you feel you can deal with this dilemma that's inside of you is to drop out. You're giving your best, you're trying, or at least you think you are, and you're not getting any help. You're not getting any help from the teachers. You try to explain to teachers and your school counselor and your administrator what you have going on at home, and to you, you feel that they're simply not listening. And so you go to school, to a place that you hate. You have no friends. You think everyone is against you. No one is trying to help you. You don't feel that you are where you need to be. And at this point in your life, you just are not even inclined or have even a desire to finish high school. You just want to be done with school. Has the value of a high school diploma diminished to you? Does it even mean anything to you to earn a high school diploma? Maybe in your family, no one has earned a high school diploma and they're doing pretty good for themselves. So what is the push for you to get a high school diploma? All of these things that I brought up are things that many students in my years in public education have said to me or emailed to me or told me over a telephone as to the reasons as to why they drop out of high school. And I think those of us who are fighting the fight to help diminish the numbers of students who drop out of high school need to understand their why. We need to understand why these students are dropping out of high school. Because if we don't understand the why, we'll never be able to come to a solution. This is part one. I'll come with part two soon. This is Dr. Hines. Thank you.
The new trends for teenagers. The new trends for teenagers looking to make some summer cash and build up their work experience this summer. The key, experts say, is knowing who's hiring and where. It's that time of year for teens to get to work.
No running on my watch.
And the summer jobs market is hot.
Demand is high everywhere.
Corey Hutchinson runs a water and amusement park in Maine and relies on teens all summer long.
Team workers are a huge part of our team. They've always been very critical to our operation.
Demand in the U.S. especially high for lifeguards amid a shortage forcing thousands of pools to close or reduce hours. Even as the overall economy slows, teen hires are expected to spike, from camp workers and instructors in sports and the arts to retail and restaurant jobs. And businesses are expected to pay teen workers even more than they did last year, an average of nearly $15 an hour, a 9% increase. Construction offering one of the highest wages at nearly $18 an hour. 18-year-old Jack Johnson has worked for Hutchinson for 3 years and says he's pleased with the bump.
Definitely a nice welcome surprise. I was very happy to see that. It definitely makes me want to work even more.
Western states will see some of the highest paychecks due to higher minimum wages, where on average teens can earn over $1,000 per month. And according to cooljobs.com, Los Angeles, Tucson, Arizona, and Las Vegas are among the top 10 cities with the best paying summer jobs.
If you're a teenage job seeker out there right now, there's many opportunities and you should take advantage of them and quickly, because they're going to fade just like summer will.
And beyond teenagers, according to Indeed, other in-demand summer jobs include summer law associates, summer school teachers, and bank tellers. My oldest daughter is getting closer and closer to that work age.
Yeah.
So what are we doing this summer? I know what you're doing, kid.
Yeah. What was one of your favorite summer jobs?
Oh, I was making business cards at a print shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
was pretty good.
Custard at Ollie's Frozen Custard.
Oh, wow. I like
that's a
that
good
too.
one.
Yeah, I worked at the gym, soccer camps, the whole thing.
I was going to say, what, you didn't have to work.
And of course, the Olive Garden.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. To get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.
This woman. This woman is being mom shamed for allowing her 5-year-old daughter to bleach her hair.
You excited?
28-year-old TikTok influencer and self-proclaimed cool mom, Demi Engelman, let her kindergartner Maud skip school for a mommy-daughter salon day.
And I don't regret it, to be honest.
Demi documented the whole coloring process in this TikTok video, which has been viewed 18 million times. Why did you decide to dye your daughter's hair?
This was actually all her idea. She told me that one of her friends had purple hair, I think, and she was like, well, I want my hair blonde. And I was like, okay, well, let me text my hair girl.
A few texts later, Maud's naturally brown hair is covered in foils.
You see the blonde coming through?
Just look at the tot's transformation. The backlash was instant. Oh, no, no, no. You better take some parenting classes. Why? She's just a child and has her whole life to be worried about her looks. Go just some of the harsh reactions.
What do you say to people who would say to me, this is crazy, it's too young?
Okay, is it the best thing for her, the chemicals and everything? You could argue that probably not, but at the end of the day, the upside was that she would feel confident and happy and be stoked on this.
But is it safe?
I don't have an objection as a dermatologist to using chemical products to change the color of the hair, even in children, if it's done properly and carefully, and if that child does not have a sensitivity to that ingredient.
Do you think that this has given your daughter a little bit more confidence?
Yeah. Yeah.
Spring. Spring brings out the birds and the bees. So mom and dad, listen close. Now may be the time to talk to your teens about dating. We know that can be rough. So in tonight's Family Focus, Tim Miller shares some insight into how to tackle that talk.
For parents, it's a day you saw coming, but you were probably hoping it wouldn't come so quickly. It's the time when hormones begin raging, romantic feelings develop, and your son or daughter starts dating.
It's important to remember that teens mature at different rates. So I think it is important to talk with them before you get to the point where they want to start dating.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Amy Drescher says it's important to talk to your teens about not only dating in general to promote healthy relationships, but about dating violence. So the question you may have is, when do you begin?
I think a good time is when they start to bring it up, or when you start to notice that their friends are dating, or they are starting to ask questions about it.
Of course, acknowledging that some of these conversations will be extremely difficult and uncomfortable for your kids is a key part. But you'll want to talk realistically about sex and explain the differences between lust, infatuation, and love.
Sitting down and kind of lecturing them isn't always the best way. I think empowering them by asking questions is a really powerful way to talk about boundaries and what they're comfortable with.
As a parent, you'll need to set some expectations, set boundaries, and have an honest conversation about consent.
I do think that that's really powerful where if parents can share their experience and then, talk about how things have changed and help kids understand why there are those concerns, and then empower them to, make positive and good decisions.
Dr. Drescher also suggests that as you talk about dating, you'll also want to keep their close friends in mind too.
Maybe their friends are not in the same place, or maybe their friends' families may view things differently. Different families are going to, are going to feel differently about dating, and culture and religion do really factor into that.
The experts say it's a challenging time for all, for the kids and for their parents. For Family Focus, I'm Tim Miller.
Oh, one other thing, if you have a good relationship with the parents of your kids' friends, experts say it's a good idea to let them know you've been discussing dating and get on the same page with them if possible.
So fast, and pretty soon, your toddler will be dating. Happens in a blink of an eye. It can be a challenging time for parents, though, knowing the proper boundaries and the freedoms that you need to put in place. With the right preparation and approach, though, parents and their teenagers can survive what should be an exciting time in their lives. Valerie Jones is a counselor with Youth Focus. She has some ways that parents can feel a little more comfortable about their child when it comes to dating. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. So the first question, I guess, is what is the proper age? What would be a good age?
That is the jump in question people always want to know. I would say, like with anything in life, you kind of have to gauge whether your individual child is ready. So sometimes that varies. But I would suggest waiting until adolescence, which is in between the ages of 13 and 19. And it's kind of a common practice in our country for kids to date around ages 16.
Shouldn't you, as a parent, kind of like, I don't know, ease your child into dating?
You should. Children are human beings, and so interest in sexuality and the opposite sex is a normal part of growth and development.
Right.
So we call it the tweens. Between the age of 9 and 12, they'll start to show some interest. And this is a good time that you can stop and have some conversations about relationships, intimacy, how to say yes and how to say no when you're uncomfortable with something. Parents can share their own stories. This is a good way to start dialogue. And if you have certain messages and values that you want to relate to your children, sharing your own stories is a good way to get that conversation going.
Yeah. What about when they get a little bit older? You want to say, okay, you can have a friend over, but then what do you say when they say, well, I want to go to the movies, or, I want to go to a football game? Where does, how do you react to that when it's the first time?
Well, honestly, I would suggest that parents should use some common sense. So before you ever let any dates occur, I would get to know the child that your child wants to date. It's not a bad idea to get to know their parents. Everybody should sit the kids down, let them know what their expectations are. Set rules like having a curfew, check-in times, and then dates can start off at home. So have that child come to the house, and they can do simple things like cook dinner. They can make tacos and hamburgers, or play video games, or watch a movie. This gives your child an opportunity to learn to spend personal time with someone else, but under your supervision. So it's a teaching moment. You can kind of see what's going on, and when it's over, you can provide some feedback. And then they will want to move to dating outside of the house. And you don't have to start off with letting your kids go out at night. They can do day dates, like riding a bike at the park or going on a picnic. Let them do dating at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, as opposed to their first dates being those 8 or 9 o'clock movies. So that sets parents at ease a little bit too.
And you should have a time limit on it. A curfew, perhaps?
You should definitely set a curfew. Setting a curfew and having your children check in with you every so often is a good idea. In the beginning, I think dates should last maybe no longer than 2 hours. Make sure that your kids know there's going to be consequences if they break your rules.
Right.
And
stick with them too.
And stick with them. Parents also need to be realistic. Adolescence is a time where children are seeking that autonomy and that independence. Part of that process makes them want to withdraw from you, makes them want to break rules and have their own thoughts about what they should be doing. It doesn't always coincide with what the parents want. So again, just set rules and make sure that they know what the consequences are if they break the rules.
And real quick, there are apps that parents can use to kind of, know where your kids are.
There are. We should try to be safe at all times. There's Find My Friends, Family Locator. So you can have your child load this on their phone, and that way you can kind of keep tabs and make sure if they're at the movies, they're actually at the movies.
And have consequences if they turn it off. Been there, done that.
Exactly.
So, all right. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We
Good
appreciate
luck.
it. Thank you.
Okay, fathers. Great videos. Great videos. Fathers, prepare yourself because it's coming. These videos are for 10 to 18 years of age. 10 to 17, actually. Because by the time they're 18, they're going to be getting out of high school. So it's coming, fathers. It is coming. This is why you need to purchase my book, Daddy's Girls. Because I'm very intentional and I'm very specific on what I address. Let me pull up the father-daughter contract for you one more time, fathers. Okay. Father-daughter intervention solutions contract. Not all fathers are going to have to use this. But if you purchase my book, Daddy's Girls, it would make a lot more sense because I break it down for you fully when it comes to interventions, what work and what doesn't work. My book can be purchased at Amazon.com, fathers. All right, fathers, another live stream. I appreciate you for being present. I appreciate you for being here. Okay, fathers, we got to kiss our babies, love them babies. Tell them you love them, show them you love them, hug them. Lead them. Be the fathers that I know you're capable of being. Okay, fathers, I live stream once a week at Grow That YouTube channel. I am growing my YouTube channel organically, feeling great about it. This is live stream number 77. I've been live streaming since July of 2023, Fathers of Daughters. I'm making it happen. Okay? All right, fathers. Hasta la próxima semana. Paz. Okay, fathers, until next week, this is Ephraim B. Martin. You know the routine. I'm out. I'll holla at you. Peace.